Hello. Oh, what's this? Why does it start saying things to me when I've YouTube's now saying stuff to me as I've gone live? It wouldn't let me go live before. But anyway, this is one of those ones I haven't advertised because I was going to do a live tonight at 5, like I usually do. If you're watching this later, it's Thursday, the something, was it second or something? Yeah, Thursday the 2nd of March, and I've after I'll tell you about it in a minute. After coming back from Blackpool, I got sick, and it's a throat thing. So I've got my live session tonight for my onlinemagic.co course. Check that out, onlinemagic.co. And I wanted to just give you the heads up as to why it's all been quiet, because people, when I went to Blackpool, people were coming up and talking to me a lot, and sort of they would say, "Oh, you haven't noticed you haven't posted." I was wondering why I haven't posted so much in the last month. So it was really nice actually that people care, and kind of, because you work in this bubble as a content creator, which is only of course one of the things I do, and you sometimes forget that people actually watch it and care and sort of engage with it. So Magic Man, how you doing? Oh, thank you for popping up, because I didn't think anybody was going to be here. So the reason I'm doing a live now really is so I don't have to edit earlier, because it all went a bit hectic. So and by the way, some people have said, where's the next? Hey Gary, how you doing? Good to see you. Some people have said, when's the next Blackpool? So I've recorded a review of the gala show. Yay! Morning Magic Ramble Live, Colin in lovely Canada. I recorded a review, well, not a review, a ramble of the gala show in Blackpool, which I haven't edited yet, because what happened is, as I said, so I'm not really meant to drink alcohol with gastritis and reflux and things like that, which I've had for 10 years. In Blackpool, what I did was that, but the opposite. So I got back, and there were a load of, and it's a serious message here. There were a load of things happening before Blackpool where I was away. That's why, again, I wasn't posting a lot. So, a few weeks ago, I got really ill. Not seriously ill, but really sort of a proper flu, which I haven't had for years, like a proper, like, wipe me out flu. And then I got better, and then I went to see my parents and did a load of things and had gigs and things, and the channel was a bit less busy, as hey John, as some people are doing. I'm good, thanks, I'm getting there. Some people have noticed, as I said, that the channel wasn't so busy. And then I felt better for Blackpool, and I felt tired when I got to Blackpool, and I think that was partly, just stuff that's happened, good stuff that's been going on. And then I got back from Blackpool after 4 days, and I was probably averaging about 4 hours sleep a night, which some people can do, but I'm 49, I'm 49, and I'm feeling it now. I don't feel it when things are normal, but I felt it afterwards, and I got back and my throat just was so swollen, and I couldn't, it was really painful when I got back from Blackpool, and I thought, okay, it's just because I've been, not looking after myself. And then it just got worse and worse and worse, and then it got better for a day. And on that day, I recorded a load of reviews. I recorded the gala show one and the last one I put out on Blackpool when I got back, and then did a live session on my course. And then the next day woke up and it was twice as bad. It was so annoying, because for a day I felt like really good, and I thought, great, I'm better, and it just wiped me out again for 2 days. I mean, I felt okay myself. I mean, my throat, I couldn't talk. So then I did a whole weekend of silence, pretty much, which was really nice actually. And I text people I knew and said, look, I can't talk on the phone, and the kids were cool with it, and it was actually nice to do it. It's frustrating. And then I had a gig on Tuesday, which I travelled to Scotland on Tuesday, and that was a worry, because it was a corporate gig, it was a stage gig, and I was thinking, I can't talk, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to do a separate video on this, because the gig didn't go well, and it was a very, very humbling experience. I'll talk about it tonight on the live session, because I think it's a really good learning experience, and I think it's good to share these things, because people who are learning to perform, sometimes when you've been in the game a long time and we don't share those things, people think, oh, it doesn't happen to anybody else, and it's the most lonely feeling when you come off that stage and you haven't done a good show, and everybody knows you haven't done a good show. It wasn't just an internal thing, and it wasn't all my fault. but it was just, there was so much I could have done to make it better, and it was a really good lesson. So I will share some of the sort of learning from that to sort of make you feel less alone if you do it, because it's always going to happen, especially if you're doing new material and stuff. So that's that. So what I was going to do tonight is do a live session. I'll answer comments in a minute. So I will have a look. This is on my phone, so I've got my camera back, yay, but I haven't set it up. So I'll have a look at, if you've got any questions now, ask them. I know there won't be many of us here, and if you've got questions afterwards, put them underneath. And if you've got any ideas for any content, of course, anything you want me to talk about, then I will. So the situation is this: I'm not going to do the live tonight, because what would happen, I would do the live stream on here, and then I'd go straight into doing the live session on onlinemagic.co, which I am going to do, and that just, even when my throat's good, it canes my throat. So I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to wait till next week, or maybe do one in the week if I can, to talk about all the things I got from Blackpool, which are in a case over there, which will sort of go over. Lots of people have asked for that. And do, again, if you have any questions about Blackpool or anything, do ask, and then we'll see how we go. So it was such a great experience. What was your best experience at Blackpool, John? My best experience, I think, was being there, and I've always found conventions challenging, because I came into, I didn't do magic clubs and I didn't do that sort of thing. So I came into magic a very different way, and I felt a little bit out of place at magic conventions. They're very cliquey, and that's not a bad thing. It's understandable. I think I mentioned this on one of the other videos. It's understandable that, you meet someone, you talk to someone you really want to meet, but at the same time, they're also catching up with people they might only see once a year or once every few years. And it's a weird dynamic, because you want to talk to. It's like when you get married. When you get married, you always wake up in the morning going, I wish I'd have talked to them people, because there's too many people for it to talk to properly. You say hello to everybody. And I was married once, by the way. I do know this, Alex, but not anymore. Unsurprisingly. So it's like that. I came back and I went, I really wanted to spend time with these people. Lots of lovely people coming up to me. You just can't. There's too many people. So my best experience really was people coming up to me that watch the channel, and also are members of the course, and just saying hi and being able to talk to them, and it was really lovely to have that. And it does massage the ego when you walk around and people go, I love your stuff, but it's a little bit deeper than that with me. I think it is like, oh right, as I said at the beginning of this video, you live in a bubble doing this stuff, and you do sometimes, obviously people are watching and stuff like that, but you don't meet those people, and when you do, it's a really, really lovely thing. It's very hard to describe, and that was a really cool thing for me. I just loved it, and being there with my girlfriend Helen was lovely as well, because she just fits in with that way. It wasn't awkward, it wasn't weird, it wasn't, it didn't feel like she was bored or anything like that, so that was nice, and it was just a lovely experience. And and the magic and the lectures that I talked about in the reviews before. I think I will answer all these questions in a minute. I think my highlight, there was lots of good things. I won't talk about the stuff I'm going to talk on the last video, which I'm hopefully going to get edited this afternoon. It's not going to get hardly any views, because Blackpool's been and gone on it, and it's kind of that thing of, why people want to know about the gala show now. But I think there's some stuff in there that'll be interesting. But Artem, who won FISM for manipulation, I've just started rehearsing for my show, and I find rehearsal an incredibly difficult process. And he said a few things that have just stuck with me and really inspired me. He talked about the thing of sitting in a room and doing something 1,000 times and literally marking that 1,000 times off before he stopped. And that's a really hard thing to do. And just having that in my head when I get bored after doing it like 4 times was interesting. And of course his work and the stuff he does, which compared to some manipulation is easier. I'm not saying he isn't incredibly skilled, he is, but some of the real knuckle busting kind of card manips, he was doing that stuff, and he can do that stuff. But seeing the effect of technically easier things to do, not necessarily easier in different ways, but the effect being not, again, I talk about this a lot. Sometimes we get caught up in thinking the harder it is to do an effect, the better it looks. It doesn't. You can do effects that are pretty much self-working. They look incredible. His stuff isn't self-working, of course, but he's looking and thinking about what it looks like rather than it's a cool thing I really want to do in my show, which I'm kind of stuck in a bit sometimes at the moment. Let's have a look. John, as I said, really good, thanks, mate. Been working on hard on my beer belly this year, yeah. I've had to stop drinking. I mean, I wasn't drinking loads. Actually, I was drinking a bit too much in the last month or so, just because stuff was happening. But yeah, I've had to stop completely again because of my throat and stuff. And I can't believe how much better I feel. The Blackpool virus, yeah. I mean, it's a super spreader, isn't it? There are so many people in one space, so there was definitely that as well. I had about 24 hours feeling fluey, and then it was just a throat thing, and that, as you can hear, it's starting to go now. I've got to be very careful. Bored of carrying this 6-pack around, Gary said. Luckily I didn't catch the Blackpool lurgy this year. No, I thought I'd got away with it as well. BMC Blackpool means COVID. 4,400 in attendance. Wow, I thought it was less than that. That's amazing. Brulafu, how you doing? Good to see you. Christmas banana. Hi Steve, did you ever get around to reviewing Beyond Reform? Yeah, I've got it. I've been playing about with it, and this is Michael Donald, and love the idea, but struggle with not giving the game away when asking spectators to sign the card. So we'll come on to the next question in a minute. Yes, I do have it. I've literally got it in my pocket. What I've done is I've bought everything. I brought everything over to the office before I felt ill, or when I thought I was getting better, and then realised I wasn't going to get to the office. So I've brought all the stuff back home, and what I'm going to do now is rehearse super strictly up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, no calls, nothing, and then do reviews and things like that. So I'm going to work through the stuff slowly. So I can't hit the dates of release, and some of the stuff I review is going to be way after release, which isn't good for numbers for me, but it's the only way I can do it, to spend time with a trick. I can't kind of fast track some tricks I can, but some I can't. So I have got it. I'm really looking forward to looking at it, as with all the stuff I've done, but because you've mentioned it, I will kind of prioritize it over some other stuff. How child friendly is it? Well, I think it's very child friendly. I think the only problem, it's great because there's loads of kids entertaining and stuff like that, and the gala shows are always child friendly. Now some people are going to say no, Mike Hammer wasn't child friendly. No, he wasn't, but he wasn't. It depends what your kind of outlook is. I'd have been fine. It depends how old your kids are, of course. I just think there's the problem with kids, if there's not loads there to do. It sounds mad at a magic convention, does it? I think they'll love walking around the dealers, but I think that lectures can be incredibly dull for adults, can't they? Let's be honest. So the shows in the evening, fine. Majority, 99% of the shows in the evening, totally fine. And I think with kids, what I do is kind of come in and out. Do stuff. I think Blackpool's really child friendly, isn't it? If you've got loads of 5p's and 10p's to stick in machines, there's loads of stuff to do with kids. So I think if you can get over, and I think it's the same with families sometimes as well, even without kids. If you've got someone that has no interest in magic, which I've done that before, then you accept you're going to miss stuff, and you're going to kind of be a little bit more transient. Is that the word? To kind of enjoy the other stuff. Blackpool, even though people kind of are quite sniffy about Blackpool, there's something I really love about it, and that's a very nostalgic thing for me. I got Logan, didn't even attend. What's the most fooling trick you saw in the dealer or in the show? Well, I don't know. It's so hard now because in the dealers you're kind of, there's loads of card stuff that I'm kind of easy to fool because I totally switch off. I've talked about the fact that if I watch a film with a twist in the end, and I know there's a twist, I purposefully don't think about it. I'm like that with magic as well. As I'm watching it, I really try and turn off that thing of, you're kind of working it out, which is very hard to do. The most fooling trick, I don't know. It's just going to be hard to, because I've got the case of stuff there to look through. There's just some card stuff, which I'm sure that is quite simple, to work out. But again, when I'm in that state of mind, like Alakazam was showing me some great stuff, and I was like, I don't know how it's done. Now, if I sat again with that head on, I would. But it was, I don't know. because the thing is, everybody's sort of giving a game away. Oh, that was good. Did you? I can't remember who it was that did the Lincoln paper clips. That was so funny. It was such a funny thing. I think they were Spanish. Yeah, they were. They were going mira, and look. So, and somebody will know who they were. I do apologise. They were doing lovely. I think I had a clip in it in the last video. This Lincoln safety pin, not paperclip, safety pin. And I was saying, it's great. It's great. I'd like to review that. And they were, because they couldn't speak English, they were getting me to talk into translator, and it was coming out wrong. And I was there going, I'd like to review. It took ages. It basically, like, I was just asking for stuff for free, which I kind of was. But that was looked great. I mean, I kind of got an idea how it was done, but you couldn't see it, and it was lovely. And yeah, the Wayne Goodman's elastic bands, and yet another Crazy Man's handcuffs. It's funny how these things all come at once, isn't it? But yeah, really, it looks amazing. Looked really, really good, and very, very falling. Probably more falling for me. I mean, just as falling for lay people as well. But because we know Crazy Man's handcuffs, we're looking for that, and it's kind of. So that was good. Was it called Wayne's? Good. Was it Wayne Goodman? I get the Waynes mixed up. Oh man, it isn't. I'm so sorry. I get names of people I know really well mixed up. It's an ADHD thing. I know it sounds like I'm using that. Wayne Fox. There you go. Wayne Fox. Do apologise. Wayne Goodman did a book on weddings, didn't he? I've still got a review. I got it about 4 years ago. So yeah, just things like that that are playing with stuff you already know. I think is great. Oh, that was lovely as well. I'm not going to go into it now. We'll do that as a separate thing. We talk about the show, or loads of stuff. Again, have a look at the Gala show one that I put out. Steve, that's why I love this session from John. Don't get me wrong, I love Blackpool as a member of BMC. The highlight for me was helping Eric Tate. Oh, I missed Eric Tate. Even get the name check on the latest podcast. Yeah, well, I mean, that's another thing. I missed a lot, and I'd like to say I missed a lot because I went, and I did miss a lot because I was, doing stuff and editing and things like that. But I also missed some stuff because I had a really, really late night, and I'm 50, like I said, nearly. So it's that's another reason to kind of take it easy. But had I not done that, then I wouldn't have been. Experienced the stuff in the Ruskin, and I enjoyed the Ruskin way more than I ever have. Again, people showing me stuff. Perseus Akamanis showing me and my partner, which I talked about before, this beautiful card trick with his lovely way of doing it, and Danny Goldsmith walking around just flooring. I mean, Danny. It was lovely to meet Danny Goldsmith. We've talked online, and to see him walk around the Ruskin doing his magic, and it looks better than it does on video. And that's a very rare thing. A lot of people, Danny's stuff will be like, can he actually do that? But it looks better. It was just completely floored me, and I know it, and he was still fooling me. So that's probably the most fooling thing I saw, because I'm going, I know this stuff, and I can't see how he's doing it. I've kind of forgotten. So yeah, best tricks I saw in the Ruskin, absolutely. Eric Tate even get a name check on the latest podcast, Penguin. Brilliant. Okay, good stuff, John. I'll have a look at that, mate. Wayne Fox, yeah. Shout out to Ian in Roland, but yeah, he was lovely. He was lovely to me. I don't know Ian. Obviously, I know he is, and I'm actually rereading the cold reading book at the moment. But he bought me a drink at a session for hosting, and he was really, really lovely. He was very sweet, which is lovely. He's got a trick up his sleeve. That's a great name. Hi Steve, great convention in Blackpool. Seen you running around with camera in hand a few times. Sorry I didn't get a chance to stop and chat. I'm currently laid up with a man flu myself. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. And never apologise. I got to apologise. I wanted to spend so much more time with people, and because the edit took me like 2 hours in the afternoon, which doesn't sound a lot, but when there's so much on, you wouldn't know it by the way I hacked it together. I'd have been back at my hotel with 8 p.m. with my slippers on and the hot chocolate on the go. Yeah, Gary, I think that's what I usually do, actually. I don't have early nights, but I usually don't touch any alcohol, go to all the things, and go to bed at about midnight or 1. But it was, that didn't happen. And my body, when I got back, it was like my body was going, that thing you've just done, Steve? Nah. You can't do that, and I'm going to tell you what happens when you show you what happens when you do that. And it was, yeah, it's brutal. It was just horrible. So there you go. So I hope you're doing well. I hope there's more revival. Thanks, Gary. Magic TV 2.0. What's your latest review list? Ever growing. I'll tell you what, John, it's nuts. I've got so much. I'm going to fast track a couple of things because I've heard that basically I fast track things that I think, all right, people need to know about this now, or maybe to ride the wave of a little bit of hype, but only if it's super easy to learn and I don't have to kind of spend loads of time. I think I'm going to have to stop trying to get, what I try and do with everything is try and get footage of me performing the tricks for people. It's just not possible. It's getting harder and harder to go out and kind of into cafes and get people to hold the camera and all that. So we'll do less of that, but I will always learn the trick and get a feel for how it would play. But it is nuts. Glad you're feeling better, Tom. Tom, lovely to meet you there and hang out a little bit. Thank you. Grey Magic, sorry, I said Gary before, didn't I? It's because I haven't got my glasses on. Grey Magic TV 2.0. Thanks for everything you do, brother. Really like your channel. Great work. Keep it up, mate. I'm from Australia and we don't have any magic shops around here, so I've got a shop online. Well, I started my first ever introduction to magic was actually in Australia. I've got two stories of where I started magic. They were kind of because I stopped and then started again. But that was in Manly in Sydney, and I told you before I learnt. I was a juggler and I looked after a juggling shop for a while, and there was a magic shop as well called Juggling Magic and More. I still want to connect with a guy called Dave who owned it, and I ran it for a bit while he went to Taipei for a gig, I always remember, and I sat there practicing magic tricks, and after that went into bars, did a Svengali deck, did a vanishing cigarette, vanishing silk, and it kept me in Australia for another couple of months, and I met people and it was great, so it was wonderful. But thank you for your kind words. That was really kind of you. Thank you. It's early morning here in Australia, but at the end of my day, I love my magic. Great. Yeah, me too. If you need help, I can travel to Sheffield if you want someone to bounce off. Thanks, John. That's very lovely of you. I ordered Super Lemon off the back of your review. Going to stick it into a small show on Friday. Looking forward to it. I was going to put it in my show at the end of the month, and actually it fits, but the only reason I'm not is because it's starting to become a bit like a Henry Harrius tribute show, because I've got because in it I'm going to do like I usually do, but I've kind of worked on it a bit and reworked it a little bit, is a Rubik's Cube routine that isn't Henry's, but then the Venom Cube, which I just think is so beautiful. I've got a presentation around that, but if I stick Super Lemon in there as well, even though it isn't Henry's, it's Alex's, but he's promoting it, it's going to start looking a bit desperate. So. But it is great. If you ever want to perform my cafe, I'm happy to hold the camera. Thanks, Tom. Have you got a cafe? Did you tell me you got a cafe? Tell me about that. Yeah, Manly in Sydney, loved it. Have you ever gone through Piper Magic Australia? No, because I wasn't I haven't. What happened after Australia? That was when I was 19 or 20 maybe 21, and I got out of it, didn't do magic for ages, and then got back into it a lot later. So I'd love to visit Australia. I want to start lecturing. I want to lecture. I want to go places and lecture, because I'm not going to be able to afford ever to go on holiday because my mortgage is just doubled. But so if you know people that want me to lecture, let me know. Chauncey, Henry, yeah. Are you saying Henry Harrius? Are you saying? Didn't get a chance to see Henry or his latest release. Okay, yeah. So his latest release is great. It's one that, so it's using is it an 8x8 cube or a 6x6 cube? 8x8 cube, and it's basically a version of RD360, which is it's great, isn't it? With one of those massive cubes, and I think it's brilliant to be able to do it with that. And there's subtleties in it that make it. I mean, it's totally different than handling a little cube, and it's almost to take that huge thing out and it's solved is incredible. So I think for some shows it's going to be amazing. And actually, I did one of the things that went wrong in my show. I was promised that the spotlights were going to come on, and they didn't, and it was lit on the stage. But I did the Venom Cube, and they couldn't, because of the lighting. It was a rookie error. Because of the lighting, they couldn't see the colours properly, and I was assured, and I just didn't notice that they hadn't turned them on. So for things like that, when you're on a bigger stage, that big cube's going to be amazing. A small cafe in Otley. Oh, nice. Oh, I've performed in Otley before. I haven't had the nerve to perform for customers yet. Oh, you must. You know, and if you haven't got the nerve, you just say to them, I'm trying it out, I haven't done it for long, even though if you have done it for long. Can you help me try this out? You know, because I'm working on it. You know, I say that all the time to people if I'm working on something that I'm not sure how it's going to play. And you'll find that people are really, really cool. And if it doesn't go right, which happened the other day, I tried something the other day, didn't work, just to some people in the office downstairs. And they didn't bat an eyelid. They weren't like, oh, they were just like, oh yeah, do you want, you know, because I'd told them, and it was completely fine. I felt like a bit of a dinkle for about a minute, and then they helped me with it. Actually, it was lovely. So right, well, 25 minutes. Blimey, you can hear my voices going already. I'm going to go. Thank you so much. If you've got any more questions or if I haven't answered here, you see my throat's going to. This is what happens in the moment. I talk for 20 minutes. It's gone. So now I've got to rest it until 6 o'clock. We're on onlinemagic.co. That's my membership site. It's been going for 10 years. Do please check it out. People love it, and it's got lovely community on there. And sometimes it's going to be a bit quieter, but I do live sessions nearly every week, and they're uploaded too. So you get at least 3 or 4 hours of new content to watch every month with guest entertainers. We've had David Williamson on there. We've had Paul Fowler came on the other day, which was lovely. It's just great. There is a session tonight, yes. It's just going to be a chat, I think, because again, I've just got back and I've been sick, so it's going to be a chilled one. So, all right, everyone, take care. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad there were people here. Have a good one. Do like and subscribe if you want, and if you know anybody that might like the channel, do tell them about it in some way. It makes all the difference. And thank you for all your support. You have no idea how much it means to me. Thank you very much. Take care. See you later.